This video explains how to respond to a teaching call sent to you using the IPA system. IPA is a web service used here at UC Davis to help sort of automate and modernize some of the instructional planning processes, one of which is asking instructors for their preferences. What do you want to teach? When are you taking a sabbatical? In some cases, when are you available? That typical conversation that you may have previously done in person or via email or via a survey, you can now do with IPA. So what we're looking at here in this front window is an email that I received from IPA. The subject line was teaching call response requested for 2019-2020. And then it tells me my department wants my preferences. I can do so by clicking this link. So I'll just go ahead and click this link. And here we have the IPA teaching call form. Now, when you load it, you may not see as many options over here on the left. And if I click this little toggle button here, I can actually minimize this area, which I'm going to do because we don't need to pay attention to that. But let's look at this form and understand it here. It's broken up into a few sections. We have this sort of information here that lets me know what department I'm currently responding to. This is useful if you work for multiple departments. Here's what year they're asking about, academic year 1920. Here's this sort of empty table about teaching preferences, this sort of Monday through Friday grid of unavailabilities, and then a comments box here at the bottom. And then on the right side we also have a term selector that I can click through, but nothing appears to change because I don't have data yet in any term. And then just this simple review box that shows me what I've done. So how do I actually give preferences with this system? Well, it's pretty straightforward once you get the hang of it. I'll just click Add Preference here, and I can go ahead and add a preference. So here are all of the courses that my department is considering offering for this academic year. I'm going to go ahead and say ECS 145. I prefer to teach that in the fall. There we go. I'm going to add one more. Let's do 122A ECS algorithm design. You'll see sometimes there's information on how many seats are currently being planned, so that's nice if you want to know that information. Of course, remove buttons if I made a mistake, and then actually in this case the IPA captures the priority order here, and I'd actually like to teach algorithm design more so than scripting languages, so I'm just going to use these buttons to reverse them. Unavailabilities is whether or not I'm going to be available at certain times. You may not see this. Your department has the option to turn this off depending on your departmental policies. In this case it's on, and I'm just going to go ahead and click and kind of hold the button down and drag to sort of paint this area here. I'm indicating I'm blocking out time. I'm saying that I'm not available before 9 o'clock on any day, and then I'm not available after 5 on Friday. And what the heck, Monday too. And then down here, these are just optional comments. If there's anything that this form doesn't capture, you can go ahead and type it out here. But this is only fall quarter, so if I click over here into winter quarter, you can see everything resets itself. Of course, if I click back to fall quarter, there is everything. But I'll go to winter quarter. In winter quarter, I'm going to be on sabbatical, so that's all I need to do. And then I'll click over into spring and be teaching algorithm design again, as well as operating systems. And I'm going to move algorithm design down. If your unavailabilities differ, you can fill them in differently here. I'm just going to go ahead and fill in that same schedule. Comments, click around, everything looks good. So if I'm ready, I can go ahead and hit submit. Am I sure? Yes, I'm sure. Click confirm. And then there we go. Your teaching preferences have been submitted. Now what I'm looking at here is a page that you can get back to at any time. You don't need to find the link in your email. If you just go to ipa.ucdavis.edu and click Login, there'll be a login link in the upper right corner, you'll be taken to this page where you can see anything that might need your attention. So if I was scheduled any courses by my department, they would appear here, which is helpful so we don't have to call any departmental staff to find out what they scheduled us for. Hopefully they'll let us know ahead of time though. If you have any teaching calls for review, they'll appear here, so you don't necessarily have to have used the link in your email. You could get to it this way, and I can actually click this button to revisit my form, but I'm just going to go ahead and click back. And then support calls, which if your department uses support calls, you'll have to talk to them. That'll be a separate video, but this has just been sort of a quick tour of how to respond to a teaching call using IPA. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask your department, or you can ask the IPA team, especially if you have technical difficulties or run into bugs. Email ipahelp@ucdavis.edu.